local sports presentation brought to you by WPEX-FM 90.9.
Hey, take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I never get back. Let me root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. 'Cause it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
Welcome, everybody, for the game number 2 of the doubleheader tonight. It's the Rotary going up against the Chamber, and I'm John Hart, along with Barry Moore. Robbie will be doing the switching of the camera. Heather Hart's going to be on top. She's going to be doing the action videos there from up top, the action camera. So we're looking forward to a very close game. These two teams are the 2 best teams in the league, and between these 2 teams, Barry, you'll probably see the bulk of the All-Stars.
I'd have to agree with that. Most of them were members of the All-Star team last year as well. And it's rightfully so because they, he's both players on both sides, extraordinary athletes.
Well, you got about 4 or 5 players, and we'll get to them as the game progresses, that are just absolutely excellent. And we're talking about on the Chamber side, Rotary's kind of got the same kind of talent on their end. When you're looking at pitching, catching, base running, and everything.
I believe I'd give the edge to the Rotary in the pitching department, to be honest with you.
Well, Ryan Dalton is going to be starting off tonight pitching. He's a left-hander, and I think one of the things that they want to try to do is maybe throwing a left-hander, get the Rotary a little off balance, at least starting the game off. Now,
the other many left-handers,
right? And another thing that Chambers got to worry about, they got to go up if it gets a very good Legion team tomorrow.
That's right.
So we'll see what happens. Here comes now the first pitch, and a hard hit ball that's going to go down to first base.
Josh Bronson handles it by himself.
Josh Bronson will easily go to first base, and that'll be up for the first out. So only 1 pitch, and you only get 1 out already.
That's the way you like to do it.
Yep. Josh Bond will be coming up next for the Rotary. Here comes now the pitch. That one's going to be outside for ball 1. Peyton Lawson will be coming up on deck. So with 1 out, here we go. Here comes the next pitch. That one's going to be outside 2, and that's going to be ball 2, 2 balls and no strikes.
Left-hander not wasting any time here. He's getting the ball and throwing it rather quickly. He's not really thinking about it, just throwing it. Just gets set and goes.
Here comes down the windup. Swing and a miss by Josh Bond. That'd be in there for strike number 1. One of the things that the Rotary batters, all of them, even their best batters, have got to be careful is they've got to be patient. Here comes down the next pitch. Hard hit ball. That one's going to go to the shortstop. He throws it, and he misses it. The first baseman had it, misses it, and Josh Bond gets up on first base. So Rotary has got a man on first base with 1 out. And that's going to bring up Peyton Lawson with the Cobra on deck.
You can't give them outs. That's basically what they did there.
Josh Bond on first base for the Rotary, and they have 1 out. Here comes now the pitch. And now all of a sudden Ryan's going to wind up. Here comes now the pitch. And that one's going to be
Bond.
And there goes Bond. They're not going to even try. He's just going to throw it back to
stands up.
Pitch, and then Rotary's got a runner in scoring position.
Already. Just that quick. When you give them an out, and that's basically what they did with the overthrow.
Here comes now the pitch. And a swing and a miss from Peyton Lawson. Now being there for strike number 1. 1 ball. No.
They got 1 ball, 1 strike.
1 ball and 1 strike.
1 out. 1 on.
Here comes now the pitch. Swing and a miss. I'll be in there for strike number 2. So we got 1 ball and 2 strikes. Josh Bond for the Rotary's on second base. Here comes now the pitch. And that's strike number 3. Or is that a ball?
No, you can call it a strike.
That was ball number 2. 2 and 2 is the count. That was close.
A little bit outside.
Here comes now the pitch. Winds up. Swing and a miss. Strike number 3. And that's going to strike out Peyton Lawson. And with 2 outs, and Matthew Hart is going to come up and see what he can do.
Matthew Hart, cleanup hitter. What, he got 5 home runs already on the year?
4 home runs. Runner on second base. Here comes out the pitch. And swing and a miss for Matthew, and he didn't even get close to that one. I'll be in there for strike number 1. So no balls and 1 strike to Hart. Here comes down the next pitch. Swing and a miss.
You know, Matthew had a hard trouble
the other day at the Lions.
Tuesday had a hard with the plate anyway. Pitched very well, but was a little off his game on the batting department. And he's down 0-2 here.
So here comes now the pitch. And that one's going to be fouled back, and the count still remains no balls and 2 strikes. One of the things you got to do is you got to be patient and not get behind the batter. Here comes the pitch. Foul back once again. It's in there for strike 2 still.
Still 0-2.
No balls and 2 strikes. Runner on second base, and Rotary's missing a great opportunity. All right, here comes now the pitch. Here comes. Change up and got Matthew on a strikeout.
Yes,
and that will be strikeout number 3.
That's it, and that will do it. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left, no runs. And we're going to the bottom half of the first inning. Chamber coming to bat. This is a Southside Sports Network presentation. We'll be right back after these messages.
These are not your ordinary doctors. They are the accounting surgeons. Allow them to show you the personal attention it takes in order to receive every single deduction you deserve. The accounting surgeons and crew are here for you all year long, not just January to May. Whether you need tax preparation, payroll work, or bookkeeping services, call the accounting surgeons today. 434-538-0595. They offer very reasonable rates along with their year-round service with a smile. Located at 126 East Carolina Avenue in Crewe. The accounting surgeons are here for you. Phone 434-538-0595.
The best stuff ever.
Brought to you by Radio Shack.
I need a new phone, so I'll go to Radio Shack, take their advice, and buy a Sony Ericsson Z750 with AT&T service. It has a 2-megapixel camera, FM radio, and a web browser, so I can surf the internet. And then one day at a car dealership, I'll find the price of a car too high, but the salesman won't agree, and he'll throw me a challenge and he'll give me the car for free if I find it for cheaper, so I'll use the internet on my phone, find it for cheaper, and get it for free. And I'll owe it all to Radio Shack.
Don't just buy stuff.
Do stuff.
See your local Radio Shack dealer at Southside Electronics, Blackstone Square Shopping Center.
And we're back here at Miller Field as we go to the bottom of the first right now. It's 0-0. Chamber and the Rotary going at it. Starting pitching will be Matt Hart. The Cobra will be on the mound for the Rotary. And coming up will be Mr. Yancey for the Chamber to start things off.
Steve Yancey.
Steve Yancey. Just got Yancey written up there, so I just said Yancey.
The Cobra on the mound. He going to start things off here for the Rotary and him on the mound.
Here comes down the pitch from Hart. This one's going to be way in the dirt, and that was a wild pitch to start off with. I'll be in there for ball 1.
Coming up there fast, but it's, like I said, way outside. He just needs to calm down. He just, who knows what, they didn't go to school none this week either, so they probably got too much energy on them,
Here comes Matthew now with the second pitch. He winds up. Here comes the pitch. Well, this one went right down there for strike 1. That's the old Matthew that we know and love right there. So that brings up 1-1, and they're going to have to start swinging at the ball. Here comes down the pitch, and that's going to be in there for strike. Oh, that was close. They call that a ball, but that must have been a little bit low because it looked pretty good from this angle.
3 balls, 1 strike. Is it two balls, 1 strike?
2 balls and 1 strike. Here comes down the pitch. Swing and a miss. I'll be in there for strike number 2. So Matthews got him 2-2 right at this point. But like I said, very important that Matthew needs to stay ahead of his batters. Here comes now the pitch. Strike 3, and that will bring up strikeout number 1 from Mr. Matthew Hart.
Yes, it will. That's going to bring up Drew Pumphrey.
So this is Drew Pumphrey hit a home run off of one of Matthew's stinger fastballs. Outfield will back up. Here comes down the pitch. And that one's going to be fouled back for strike number 1. Matthew's going to have to probably throw this boy some curves or something. He better watch it throwing straight down.
Drew's a good ball player.
Drew's a very good ball player.
All-star from last year as well.
Here comes down the pitch. No balls and 1 strike. Matthew winds up, throws a changeup, and that should have been a strike. He called it a ball. Did he call that a strike? Oh, okay. So it was a strike. Let's see what Matthew pitches here. I would pitch him anything but a good pitch. Here comes down the pitch. And that was Matthew's fastball, now being there for ball number 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Now Matthew looks.
Drew, a very patient batter. He's not going to chase anything out of the strike zone.
Very good eye. Here comes down the pitch. And this one's going to be a hard-hit ball. And
that gets through. Yes, it does, all the way to the
fence. And it gets through. Oh, boy.
Drew is going for 2.
And
there he goes.
His second.
Stand-up double for Drew Pumphrey. Yes, it was. Great hit, and that brings up Logan Lillywop Powell.
And that's one of the things Chamber will do to you. They just got just a great hitting ball club.
This is the meat of their order. Here's a Lillywop, all-star from last year as well.
Here comes down the pitch. A hard hit foul ball now being there for strike number 1. One of the things I'm very impressed with the Chamber is their first 4 especially, they have just been pounding the ball.
Well, that's the story, and it's about everybody's case. The top 4, that's who gets on, that's who gets the
hard hit ball runs again to third, and then
but
Logan.
He advanced the runner to third.
Yeah, he advanced the runner to third.
Fielder's choice went to first base, but the runner is safe at third base.
Way to go, Peyton. Peyton Lawson may have had a shot at Drew at third base, but the only thing is if a wild throw will actually score him. So I think it was good that he held up on that. 1 out. Here comes down the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike number 1. And who's that up now? Is that Dalton?
That would be Ryan Dalton, yes, sir. Ryan Dalton. Right-hander.
Yep. Here comes the next pitch. And it's a foul back. Ball. That'll be in there for strike number 2. So Matt's way ahead of Ryan. And like I said, you probably got 4, maybe 5 on this Chamber alone that will probably be on the All-Stars. That's how good they are. Here comes down the next pitch from Matthew Hart. He changed up.
No run.
Nobody goes nowhere, and I'll be in there for strike number 1. One thing Chamber Rotary would like to do is get this third and final out real quick here.
That's very true, especially
with a runner on third base. Here comes Matt with the pitch. Way high, ball 2. So now he's going to have to kind of bring it down and start getting it to what he's trying to do, I think, is pitching away a little bit, not giving, Ryan anything that he can really, knock the runner in. Here comes next pitch. Ball high again. Ball number 3. So we got 3 balls and 2 strikes as the full count comes.
Full count.
Walking this runner will not be a real bad thing, though, actually. No. Here comes down the pitch. And that's strike number 3. And Matthew gets that strikeout, and that's an important strikeout it is.
Well, 1 hit. No runs, nobody left. We're going to the top of the second. And Rotary coming to bat. And this is your Southside Sports Network. We'll be right back.
Brought to you by Radio Shack.
I need a new phone, so I'll go to Radio Shack, take their advice, and buy a Sony Ericsson Z750 with AT&T service. It has a 2-megapixel camera, FM radio, and a web browser, so I can surf the internet. And then one day at a car dealership, I'll find the price of a car too high, but the salesman won't agree, and he'll throw me a challenge and he'll give me the car for free if I find it for cheaper, so I'll use the internet on my phone, find it for cheaper, and get it for free. And I'll owe it all to Radio Shack.
Don't just buy stuff.
Do stuff.
See your local Radio Shack dealer at Southside Electronics, Blackstone Square Shopping Center.
What does your world sound like? That's geography. The music of the world around you. Geography is people, places, environments, and economics. Geography gives us the framework for understanding our world. But sadly, our kids aren't getting enough of it. Half can't locate economic powers like Japan and India, and 20% can't even find the Pacific Ocean. That's why we created MyWonderfulWorld.org. It's part of a free National Geographic-led campaign to give our kids the power of global knowledge. Go to MyWonderfulWorld.org to learn more and get your free parent and teacher action kits. It's a wonderful world.
Back here at Miller Field, I'm John Hart along with Barry Moore, Robbie Hart at the controls also. And it's a good game as we go to the top of the second inning. It's 0-0. Chamber going up against Rotary. And
Benjamin Inge.
And so far, and as we kind of predicted, it's going to end up being a pitching duel between both of these two teams.
So far, that's what it's been. Benjamin Inge will start things off here in the top of the second.
All right, we'll see what Mr. LRD's going to do. Here comes now the pitch, and this one's going to be a foul right out in front of our white elephant, now being there for strike one. One of the things I will say, we had a baseball hit this thing the other day that did pretty good, actually. Didn't break on us. I think you were here, Barry. I think went whop, bam.
Yeah,
glad it wasn't, here comes now the second pitch, way high. Now being there for ball one ball, and one strike. Rotary needs to get some runners on the bases here to see if they start to score. But Chambers says, no, not letting you do that. Here comes the next pitch. That's going to be a swing and a foul back, maybe in there for strike number two.
Yeah,
1 ball, 2 strikes.
3 fouls on the foul outs in a way.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Here comes now the pitch from Ryan Dalton. He winds up, throws it, and that's strike number 3. So that's Ryan Dalton's strikeout.
First strikeout of the night for Ryan. Second one, okay. Brings up Thomas Parrish.
So far, Rotary, other than Josh Vaughn getting that
one hit,
both teams have been pretty much shut down.
Foul ball.
Drew Pumphrey got that hit in the right field. That's been the only action that's been. Other than that, it's been a pitching duel.
Stranded at third to end the inning, so no harm.
Here comes now the next pitch, way high, and that's going to be in there for ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 is the count.
They won't keep these bats silenced for long, though. Somebody's going to wake up here pretty soon.
Here comes the pitch, swing and a miss, strike
and
number 2.
I say that, and he goes, there's a strike, swinging.
So we got 1 ball and 2 strikes. Swing and a miss, strike number 3. Now bring up the second out.
And also bring up Allende Meredith, the center fielder. Allende. He wasn't here Tuesday, I don't believe.
No, he missed that one.
Allende, a fast young man, plays center field. A very good defensive player. And he's coming along with the stick this year as well. And we got time.
Rotary was able to do things actually without him that day.
Yeah.
I mean, we just had a lot of sticks on the ball. And Rotary is leading the league right now. One of the reasons they're leading the league, though, is because they played more games and they've just won more games. They played the Lions more than anybody, too.
Right.
Here comes now the next pitch. Swing and a miss. Meredith, strike number 1. And the biggest thing is so far, Ryan Dalton has been throwing them right down the middle. Here comes the next pitch. Swing and a miss again. That's strike number 2. He's thrown about 5 or 6 strikes right in a row.
Yes, he has. He's throwing the ball extremely well tonight.
Here comes now on the next pitch. And that one's going to be a little bit outside, I think. Either way, that's going to be in it for ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes, but he's ways ahead of his batters.
Yes, he is.
And a hard hit ball to the first base. And
Nobody's home.
And he will be in there for a base hit.
Infield hit by Allende Meredith. Now keep things going here, and they'll bring up Bobby McWilliams.
So this will bring up, looks like Justin Harvey's up.
Okay.
Here comes now the pitch. And I'll be in there for strike 1. One thing I've got to hand it to Ryan. He is really throwing some great pitches. Here comes the next pitch. And that was going to be a little bit low, and that evens up the count. 1 ball and 1 strike. They got 2 outs. Meredith on first base for the Rotary. Here comes the next pitch, a changeup. That was going to come in there for ball number 2. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Justin Harvey.
And we talked about all the Harveys earlier. Here comes the next pitch. And that's going to be outside for ball 3. In fact, the base umpire is a Harvey.
That's right.
Yep. He plays crawling with Harveys. 3 balls and 1 strike. Here comes the pitch. That one's going to be ball number 4. And now runners will go to first and second base. And that's going to come up. Brandon Parrish will be on deck. But
that's going to bring up, is this Tiller?
No, I don't think Tiller's here.
Okay, then that would be Bobby McWilliams.
Here comes now the pitch. This one's high. Now being it for ball 1.
Okay, they switched up on our scoreboard here as they had McWilliams in front of Harvey, but it's reversed, so it's Brian
swinging and miss.
Bobby
being there for strike 1. And boy, one of the things that Rotary needs to take advantage of these men on base while they still can. And Ryan keeps on throwing those strikes. Now being there for strike number 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here comes now the next pitch. And this one's going to be high. Ball number 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 is the count with 2 outs. And, of course, we're here at the top of the second. Runners on first and second for Rotary. Here comes now the pitch. And that one's going to be way low. And now that's going to bring up a full count. And an important pitch coming up here.
2 outs, too. They're going to be moving. Everybody's going to be moving on this pitch. So,
yep.
Proverbial hit and run is on.
Here comes now the pitch. And that one's way in. That's inside. They call it a strike.
They called it a strike. So that will end the inning. No runs, no hits. There's 2 left. At the end, we're going to the bottom half of the second. And it's still 0-0 here at the Southside Sports Network. We'll be right back.
These are not your ordinary doctors. They are the accounting surgeons. Allow them to show you the personal attention it takes in order to receive every single deduction you deserve. The accounting surgeons and crew are here for you all year long, not just January to May. Whether you need tax preparation, payroll work, or bookkeeping services, call the accounting surgeons today. 434-538-0595. They offer very reasonable rates along with their year-round service with a smile. Located at 126 East Carolina Avenue in Crewe. The accounting surgeons are here for you. Phone 434-538-0595.
The best stuff ever.
Brought to you by Radio Shack.
I need a new phone, so I'll go to Radio Shack, take their advice, and buy a Sony Ericsson Z750 with AT&T service. It has a 2-megapixel camera, FM radio, and a web browser, so I can surf the internet. And then one day at a car dealership, I'll find the price of a car too high, but the salesman won't agree, and he'll throw me a challenge, and he'll give me the car for free if I find it for cheaper, so I'll use the internet on my phone, find it for cheaper, and get it for free. And I'll owe it all to Radio Shack.
Don't just buy stuff.
Do stuff.
See your local Radio Shack dealer at Southside Electronics, Blackstone Square Shopping Center.
And we're back here at Miller Field. Boy, they started already. Didn't even get out of 2 commercials. Anyway, first pitch from Matthew is in there for ball 1.
This is Joshua Bronson at the plate.
Here comes now the next pitch. Matthew winds up. Here's the delivery. That's going to be high for ball number 2.
2 balls, no strikes to Bronson.
Now Chambers getting a little bit patient with Matt. He's just going to kind of let the ball go by. Here comes the next pitch. And that was going to be way inside for ball 3.
Matthew's throwing the ball hard, but he
hasn't
developed
strikes.
But he hasn't developed a rhythm that he's accustomed to. I mean, usually you see him when he does that thing on the mound and comes.
And he throws another one, ball 4. And now Matthew's starting to walk the back end of the lineup.
And they're going to start waiting on Matthew now, too. You can bet on that. And this is Perkinson with Bronson on first.
Ooh, that was close. And he called that one a ball. Ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes.
5 balls on a row.
Yep. 1 ball and no strikes. Here comes down the next pitch.
There's
And a hard hit ball went
it's
foul.
foul.
That's out of play. Strike 1. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Good swing by Perkinson, though.
Well, Matthew, if he gets into a rhythm, he can do quite well. Runner on first base for the Chamber. Here comes down the pitch. And that one's going to be foul back. Strike number 2.
So as quick as that, he evens up things here, 2-2.
So we got 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1 runner on base for the Chamber. Matthew now winds up. Here comes the pitch. And he hits the man, and that's going to hurt.
Base.
And now that's going to put a runner on base.
And that's going to put up 2 runners on base. This is Graham Wilkerson coming to the plate as well, with runners at first and second, and no outs on that scoreboard. They're taking a look at...
Well, the trouble is now they were putting on... Well, is he... Oh, he didn't hit him. Okay. Runners will go back to first base. I thought he was hit.
I can't see at this angle, but...
Anyway, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Swing and a miss, strike 3.
Anyway, that puts a big out up there, and that's what he's looking for. And that brings up Graham Wilkerson.
Well, that brings up that first out, too.
And Go Bronson's still stuck at first base.
Here comes now the pitch from Howard. That one's going to be low.
Go Bronson takes off.
And
no throw down.
Not going to throw it.
Puts Go Bronson in scoring position here with 1 down.
And boy, Yende should have been coming in a little bit and on an overthrow. Here comes the next pitch. Swing and a miss. In there for strike number 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Runner on second base in scoring position with 1 out. Here comes down the pitch. Matthew throws that one way low, and that was kind of wild. And they're going to try to get the runner at second base. They don't get him. He's safe.
Safe at third.
Yep, safe at third. And we got 2 balls and 1. 2 balls and 1 strike.
And that very important first run is only 50 feet away for CC.
Here comes down the pitch. Swing and a miss.
Now
and
it's
there's strike number 2.
And very imperative that Wilkerson puts the ball in play here. He don't have to knock it far away. He just needs to put the ball in play. Trying to score the run over from third.
Here comes down the next pitch. Swing and a miss. Got to be in there for strike number 3.
And that ball was a little high, to be honest.
Help Matthew out there a whole lot. And now they'll bring up that very important second out. So Jamie Hyde will be up.
Jamie Hyde.
Other than the walk, Matthews has contained most of CC's batters so far in this game.
Right.
Here comes down the pitch. That'll be in there. He should have been in there for a strike and see what he calls. Yep. No, ball 1. He looked like he was going for almost a bunt and check swing. He must have pulled the thing back in time.
He's asking for time. And he sets.
Here comes down the pitch. Matthew winds up, throws. Oh, my goodness, that looked close. Anyway, it is a strike. Okay. My goodness sakes, he didn't make a lot of noise on that one. 1 ball and 1 strike. Matthew looks, now winds up. Here comes down the pitch. Now he stops. Now he looks, resets. Winds up, here comes the pitch once again. Low in there, ball 2. And one of the things is Matthew will sometimes get into a rut where he's throwing the ball too low.
If you're gonna throw balls, low is where you want to be them, though. You don't want them up there where they can.
Well, the backside of your lineup, you want to throw strikes, though. Here comes down. Oh, now they're stopping him again. Frank probably needs to get settled down. He's got these fireballs coming at him. Here comes the next pitch. And that may have been a check string. Are they going to call it a strike? Yes, they do. So Jamie helped Matthew out once again. And that brings up a 2-2 count now with a runner on third base.
2 down.
Here comes down the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike number 3.
And that's going to end the inning. So, at the end of 2, none left. 1 runner left on third, but no runs have across here. Here on the Southside Sports Network. We'll be right back after these important messages.
These are not your ordinary doctors. They are the accounting surgeons. Allow them to show you the personal attention it takes in order to receive every single deduction you deserve. The accounting surgeons and crew are here for you all year long, not just January to May. Whether you need tax preparation, payroll work, or bookkeeping services, call the accounting surgeons today. 434-538-0595. They offer very reasonable rates along with their year-round service with a smile. Located at 126 East Carolina Avenue in Crewe. The accounting surgeons are here for you. Phone 434-538-0595.
The best stuff ever.
Brought to you by Radio Shack.
I need a new phone, so I'll go to Radio Shack, take their advice, and buy a Sony Ericsson Z750 with AT&T service. It has a 2-megapixel camera, FM radio, and a web browser, so I can surf the internet. And then one day at a car dealership, I'll find the price of a car too high, but the salesman won't agree, and he'll throw me a challenge, and he'll give me the car for free.
All right, back here at Miller Field, I'm John Hartlaw with Barry Moore.
Swing first pitch and strike.
Anyway, Ryan Dalton has been keeping our batters from hitting the ball. Brandon Parrish is up. He's got first one is a strike one. Here comes now the pitch. That was going to be way low, kind of a wild pitch almost. I'll be in there for ball one, 1 ball, and 1 strike.
Dalton is pitching extremely well, though. The left-hander.
And I think that's getting, here comes the next pitch. That's going to be in there for ball number 2. 2 balls, 1 strike. One of the reasons they're pitching Ryan, though, is because not only they got to play Legion tomorrow, but even that they've got to play. Here comes the next pitch, by the way. That's going to be inside. But the reason they wanted to throw Rotary off balance with that left-hander pitching at him. And actually, so far, it's worked pretty good. 3 balls and 1 strike now. Rotary like to get the leadoff runner with no outs on. Swing and a miss. It's in there for strike 2. Brings the count up to full. 3 balls and 2 strikes now to Brandon. Brandon's had a rough couple of at the bat. That one's going to be low, ball number 4. And Rotary gets a runner on first base.
Brings up Josh Bond.
Josh Bond will be coming up.
He had a single last time up.
Peyton Lawson will be on deck. Matthew Hart will be in the hole. This is when they need to do something right here. And now they're all going to converge. And let's see what they're going to do here.
Every time I see those meeting on the mound, I think about the movie Bull Durham when they went out there and talking about having a meeting out there, and they were just discussing everything from wedding gifts to just about everything. I don't think they're discussing wedding gifts. Did y'all watch the big wedding today?
No.
Y'all didn't watch it?
I didn't watch that silly thing. Okay.
Future king and queen of England there now.
Here comes now the pitch way inside to Josh Bond. And Brian Dalton got a little bit wild on the last couple of pitches, and I'll bring up ball number 1. So, 1 ball and no strikes. Here comes now the pitch. It's a hard hit ball. It's could fall in the hole.
And it did.
And it does. And all the runners will be safe. Runners on first and second. And Brandon Parrish is up.
They were fortunate, though, because they had to see whether that ball was caught or not, and had it.
Logan Powell, though, almost for CC, almost made a fantastic catch.
Did.
It did. It was in the hole, but it was such a high, and he came over.
That's right, but they had to wait. The runner had to wait to see.
Yep. So that puts runners on first and second with no outs. Here comes now the pitch. And
he bunts,
this one
tries to
bunt, and that ball goes in there for strike 1.
It's a good place for a bunt. It really is. It's good coaching by the Rotary.
Now, Randy is the one that calls that.
You don't see him bunting often, but there's
a hard hit ball.
But it's
went foul. And if that thing would have been a little bit over,
just a little bit,
there would have been some runs scored on that one.
Yes, it was. Very hard hit down in first
no
base.
No balls and 2 strikes. And Ryan, actually, Ryan looks like he may have slowed down a teeny
Yes, he has. Could be running out of.
Here comes the next pitch. That one's going to be fouled back, and the count remains no balls and 2 strikes.
I don't know whether he's taking anything off of it, but they definitely got the timing down now.
Runners on first and second for the Rotary. No outs. Here comes the pitch, and that's strike number 3, and that's going to take out Brandon Parrish, and that brings up Matthew Hart.
With 2 on, not a good thing. Not a good thing for Mr. Dalton here.
Well,
but like I said,
yeah, Matthew.
He's due, but he's been struggling as of late.
Yeah. Matthew struck out. Here comes a double steal, and he slide in, and it goes through. Brandon Parrish is now going to go all the way in. They're going to score and run two people in an air, and it looks like the third baseman is down, and he may be hurt.
Oh, Lord, hope not.
And
kind of reminiscent.
Yep. We'll see what's going on.
Everybody's over there. Let's give us a few minutes. Kind of reminiscent of what happened in the first game with Eric. First runs of the ball game as well. Third base has not been the great place to be here tonight, anyway.
Rotary gets a much-needed 2 runs.
And as it happened in the first game, the 2 first runs are unearned to the pitcher here. So he's going to have to bend down and look for something extra, John, to get back into the thing. He was pitching well.
Well, the good news is for Chamber that they think that, it's the first game, so they got all 3 of them pitchers.
Right.
The bad news is, though, is they got to play a game tomorrow, so they got to conserve some of them pitching. They've already got on Ryan 3 pitches. I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to get Pumphrey, and they're trying to save Logan for tomorrow. I mean, the thing is...
But you can't get too far behind here and pray for,
Oh, yeah.
Now, how did those games, when they play the crew games, did they figure in the standings? Or
yes. Yeah, the games do count. And, of course, it counts half a game, of course.
Right, okay.
But when they play, the other team's got to play. So, if the other team beats them or, get beat. Anyway, that was going to be in there for strike 1. They got 1 ball and 1-2. 1 ball to Matthew Hart, 1 strike. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. And that one's going to be way low for ball number 2. 2 balls and 1 strike. So 2 balls and 1 strike. And this is where you got to be careful with Matt. And with I wouldn't throw Matt anything.
I wouldn't throw him nothing to get hit.
Not with here comes the next pitch. Swing and a miss, and Matthew's having a hard time getting the beat on the ball. Now bring up 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here comes the next pitch. And that's going to be outside, but that was close. That brings the count to full. Ryan Dalton needs to be very careful with this next pitch. If he slows that thing down and Matthew times it out, he got him on a changeup last time. Swing and a miss.
Got him with that same pitch.
And Matthew has struck out 4 times in a row that he's been up. He did it 3 times with the Lions, and actually 5 times.
5 times.
So Matthew's kind of in a slump on his hitting right now.
That brings up Benjamin Inge.
That ball's way high. That's going to be in there for ball 1. It's a good thing that Rotary at least scored 2. Here comes out a big pitch. Hard hit ball. This is coming from our trailer. Actually kind of went back. And that's going to be in there for strike 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 is the count with 2 outs. Rotary leading 3-2 in this game at the 3rd inning. In fact, we're at the top of the 3rd. Here comes down the pitch. That one's going to be low, ball 2. So we got 2 balls and 1 strike now to Ben. Here comes down the pitch. And this one's going to be a foul back, and the count goes 2-2. Well, we knew it was going to end up being a pitching duel, and usually with these games it is. Especially with Chamber and Rotary going at it with all the pitching, talent that they got. When you look at both of these teams. Here comes now the pitch. That was a changeup that didn't go nowhere. Ball number 3. Now bring up full count. Rotary leading 2-0. Full count. Here comes now the pitch. And it's a hard hit ball, and this one gets by the shortstop. Second baseman. Ken Inge will turn it, and there's a runner on first base for the Rotary. And that's going to be bringing up Mr. Thomas Parrish, I believe.
Thomas Parrish. Yeah, that ball just handcuffed the second baseman. He just could not come up with it. Not a bad play, just couldn't get to it.
And now that was a foul back. That'll be in there for strike number 1. Rotary starting to hit the ball a little bit.
And Inge is starting to hit the ball well. I mean, he's been on base a lot here lately.
Here comes the next pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike number 2. Ryan Dalton. So far, pitched 3 innings so far. Done a decent job. Here comes now the pitch. Runner on first base for Rotary. Swing and a miss. Strike number 3. And that will do
strike him out. But one left. As we... Excuse me. This is Southside Sports Network. We'll be right back after these messages.
What does your world sound like?